Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Ali here, and I am coming at you from the beautiful city of Montreal. It's been a little bit tough getting back to the groove of things after spending so much time working and being in nature versus being in the hustle and bustle of the city. But I finally feel like I am finding myself here and starting to enjoy all the things that the city has to offer. And one of the things that Montreal definitely has a lot to offer of are the strip clubs, because Montreal is known for its iconic strip club scene. Now, I'm not coming to you from a place of I'm like a strip club connoisseur and I've been to so many strip clubs and all I do is hang out in strip clubs. That is definitely not it. I think I've been to maybe about a dozen strip clubs in my lifetime. Most of those times were in my early 20s with my girlfriends. You know, going with a big group of girls was always really, really fun. Just going for a drink and enjoying the wonderful, talented dancers and getting a few dances and chatting with the dancers as well. Damn, those dancers are really, really talented. I mean, I took a few pole dancing classes. I think I bought something like a 5-class pack or something, and I maybe went to about 2 classes because I was like, I can't fucking do this. This is way too hard. I don't have that upper body strength. So I told myself I was gonna work on that strength and then go back. That was a couple of years ago now. Anyways, the other time I've enjoyed going to a strip club is with my partner. I always thought it would be really fun to go with a partner, just the two of you, sort of an intimate setting, something really fun and arousing and exciting to go in this, you know, dark space, and you guys sit in a little corner and you watch the beautiful women dance and take their clothes off. And there's something so visually stimulating and exciting about a beautiful woman dancing and taking her clothes off. I mean, I don't get the same effect when I watch a man do that. Sorry, my men. But I feel like if you're a woman watching this, you'd probably agree, because that's the consensus I get also from most of my friends around me. But it's definitely great for the couple, whether you guys participate in some stuff at the club or you decide to go home and, you know, enjoy your little own fantasy about what you saw, what you did. And I think it could just be a really fun, relaxed, no pressure type of activity to do if you're looking to change things up a little bit for your date nights. Throw in a little activity there, a new activity into the roster of date night ideas. So before you grab your singles and head out the door, we're gonna talk about what you should know, what you should expect, and most importantly, how to keep this fun without turning it into some weird, awkward, potentially very uncomfortable situation. But first, welcome to my channel, Ali here, a platform where we have some casual conversations about sex, relationships, and other fun stuff. And if you're new here, you know, you could like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to support the channel even further, you can do so by clicking on the links below this description, not below the description, below the video, which will take you to my Patreon, and there you can contribute furthermore to the growth and maintenance of this channel and to my education. So I thank my former and my current Patreons so much. Thank you, thank you. Je vous aime. All right, let's get started. So first thing is deciding to go. One really, really important thing is that you want to make sure that you both really, really want to go try this together, and that one of you is not just doing it to please the other person. So consent and enthusiasm is key here, because honestly, if one of you isn't really down for the idea, but you go anyways and force yourself into it, you're really putting yourself in a dangerous situation to potentially have a really, really terrible evening, and nobody wants that, okay? We're going to have fun, we're going to relax, we're going to hopefully get aroused and have some fun there or have some fun after and get closer with your partner, you know? It's a little bonding at the strip club. So you can always bring it up casually in conversation. Ask your partner if they've ever been to a strip club and what their experiences were, and if they would be interested in maybe going to check one out. Go for a drink before dinner or go for a drink after dinner. I'm usually a pretty direct person and I'm not really shy about asking these kinds of things. So I'll just downright ask, like, so have you ever been to a strip club? Like, would you be interested in going? We can go check it out. It'll be fun. You know, we don't have to do anything. I'm a big fan of putting no pressure on the table, you know, making it clear that you would just go and scope it out. And if one of you is uncomfortable, you can just leave. No questions asked, guilt-free card. If the person seems a little bit closed off about it, you can continue having the conversation. If you have to try too hard to convince something to do something that they don't want to do, chances are it's not going to go that well. I wouldn't push too much if the person seems very, very resistant. And then maybe you could try some baby steps with some other activities. I'm not of the kind that would convince someone so much to try and get them to change their mind. I'm very much okay if they don't want to do it, then that's fine. I'm not going to die. It's not the end of the world if someone doesn't want to go to a strip club. And I wouldn't be too happy either if Gab wanted to go and I wasn't feeling it and he kept trying to convince me. It wouldn't really make me feel that good. So you always want to keep it a no pressure situation, which brings me into my next tip, which is setting boundaries and expectations. This is probably the most important aside from having fun. That's obviously like top level, but setting boundaries and expectations when you go to these kind of things is very, very important. So things like, what's a hard no? Are you allowed to tip? Are you allowed to talk to the dancers? Are you allowed to look at the dancers? And this doesn't just go for the guy, by the way, it also goes for the girl. Trust me, you don't want to be in the club already, sitting down and having some kind of awkward conversation about whether or not you're allowed to look at somebody's ass. So save yourself the awkward, like whisper fight and just have this chat before about boundaries and so on. And obviously, if you've never been with your partner before, I mean, you could talk about boundaries and expectations all you want before going, but obviously when you go, you're going to experience things that you weren't really planning on it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes in these clubs, girls walk around and they very much make themselves feel at home because it is their home, it's their place of work, and they'll just come sit next to you without you even looking or asking or anything. You know, not all places do that. Every strip club has like different rules, different environments, and so on. There are going to be things that you aren't expecting. So just keep it cool, calm, and collective. I would definitely think of a safe word. If that situation happens, you can work together to get out of it. But that being said, try your best to have these chats beforehand about what's allowed, what's not allowed. Keep in mind that you also might change your mind when you go. So you might be okay with something once you're there, or you might be very much not okay with something once you're there. I know for myself, oftentimes in these new kind of situations with Gab, in my mind, I have an idea of what it would be like. And sometimes I think, oh, it's going to be amazing. And then when I'm actually in it, I'm like, you know what? I don't really like this. Thankfully, Gab is very receptive. I'm very comfortable telling him that. And he's like very receptive to how I feel. And he will immediately help me or work together to get out of the situation that we're in. So I feel good. So number 3 is picking the right club. So again, I'm not coming at you from a place where I know so much. Like I haven't been to that many strip clubs and I don't really hang out in strip clubs that much. You know, I go on the random time. So based on my own experience and general knowledge is that they are all different. There's some things that are sort of universal. You know, there's a stage, the girls dance on the stage, you can get a lap dance and so on. But the way it works, the money, the way you ask what's allowed, what's not allowed is very different across the spectrum, okay? If you're looking online where to go, I would definitely do some research beforehand. So ask your friends, where have they been? Where do they like? Obviously look at Google reviews, see what people have to say, check out their website if you can, check out photos, check out if they are couple friendly. Like maybe some places don't really like couples coming in, you know, they have a certain kind of clientele. You definitely want to check all that kind of stuff out. And also maybe what part of town it's in. You also maybe want to look at if they charge a cover charge, because a lot of these places have hidden fees also. So you pay a fee to get in, and then you need cash to, I don't know, check in your code and stuff like that. That's pretty standard. But then you need cash, like, I don't know if you want dancers or whatever, and then, you know, you have to pay for your drinks. And then if you want to go in the VIP, let's say, you have to pay another fee on top of whatever services you want to get. There's all like little fees everywhere. So you want to make sure you have cash, obviously, and just know what's the money situation like? Like how expensive is this place? There are higher end strip clubs, there are lower end strip clubs, there's a spectrum. Doing your research will definitely help. And you know, you also want to look at dress code. There are some places that are really strict with dress code. For men, for example, no like flip-flops, no shorts, no sneakers, things like that. They want want to keep it classy. These are things definitely worth looking into, so you go prepared. And also checking what kind of contact it is. Is it full contact? Is it no contact? And if you don't know what that means, it means like if you can touch them and so on. Definitely do your research, check it out. Hopefully the one you pick will be a really great experience. All right, so the next part is arriving. And this is where like the nerves can kind of kick in. If again, this is your first time going with a partner, maybe you've been before as a single person, but yeah, going with a partner, it's a different experience, especially if you've never been before. Usually you get there, there's a bouncer and there's a fee to pay. So you go to counter, you pay a fee. I think most places have a fee. Anyways, in my experience, you have to pay a fee to get in. In Montreal, let's say it's somewhere between $10 to $20 that you pay to enter the space. There's usually an usher or someone that will bring you to a table. So you have a stage and then you have the chairs around the stage and then you have like tables and booths all around. Again, depending on where you're going. And they usually ask you, do you want, a seat at the stage or do you want a table? Maybe it depends on where you go. If it's like a higher end club or a lower end club, if there is an usher that brings you to your table. Anyways, the place that we went to the other night, they did bring us to a table. And yeah, so then you sit down and then there's a waitress that comes up to you and asks you, what do you want to drink? So you can get a drink and then you can sort of relax and just take it in. And you look around. There's usually a girl dancing on the stage and there's some poles and then you see some women scattered everywhere around the club and they're all usually wearing some sexy lingerie or bikinis or things like that. So they're scoping everybody out and they're like, who can I go talk to? Who do you think I can flirt with? Who can I get, some cash from? Like they're working, right? They're selling. Again, if you're in a couple and you just want to watch, that is totally fine. You could just go for a casual drink. You sit together, you watch the girls on stage, you talk about what's going on around you. That's usually a really fun part. If you don't want to participate in anything, try not to make eye contact with the girls because if you make some intense eye contact, like they're gonna come over and they're gonna talk to you and so on. And then that can always be awkward. I know I always have a hard time saying no when I'm in those situations. Gab always laughs at me because he usually gives me like money. I'm, in charge of the money. And I like the first person that comes talk to me, I'm like, here's all my money. I just don't know what to do because I feel bad saying no, but that's just part of my personality and something I'm working on. And again, you don't have to make the strip club your entire evening experience. At first, when you get there, it can be quite exciting. But after for me, like an hour and a half, maybe max 2 hours, I'm like, okay, I'm good to go now. It's not somewhere that I would really spend an entire evening in because the music's loud. I don't really like to hang out that much in bars and clubs in general. It gets the novelty wears off for me pretty quickly. But if you want to participate in any lap dances or any other interactions, well, you can. A lot of places, and I saw this the other night when we were at the strip club, if you're sitting around the stage, you can go on the stage and lie down and put some cash in your mouth, in between your teeth. And then the dancer will come up to you and she'll sort of sit on you and straddle yourself a little bit and she'll take out the money with her teeth or her mouth or something like that. And I saw a lot of girls in the couple do that actually. And it's sort of fun and it's flirty and the girls look like they were having a great time, the clientele. I wanted to try it, but I was way too shy. I get a lot of stage fright, so I didn't do it. Maybe one day I will. But yeah, I admire those who do it. And if you want to get a lap dance, so again, I'll speak from my experience, but every place is different with different rules. You can get a table dance. So a girl comes to your table and you usually pay something around $10 for a song and she just sort of dances at the table with you a little bit. Or you can go behind. Behind is the private dances. And so you can go as a couple, again, depending where you go, or as a single person. And if you're a couple, obviously everything is about double the price. If you're looking at a private dance, that's around $10, $15. For a couple, it's gonna be around $30. You would go in the back and they usually have little chairs and you could choose what you wanna do. You could one of you can sit in the chair and the other one can get the dance and you just watch, which for me, that's very very exciting. Or you can both share, so the girl will kind of dance like a little bit on you and a little bit on your partner and so on. And if you want to stay for another song, you just tell her like, I want to stay for another song. And you know, this is their work, like they're very used to it. So I'm sure they meet so many people with different characters and have a lot of real awkward and very interesting conversations as well. But when I say awkward is that, you know, they're very used to first timers going and not really knowing how to navigate. And usually they are really nice. Don't be shy to ask a question. Again, if it's my first time in a strip club, I'll ask a girl straight up, how does it work? It's my first time here. Like if we want to do a dance, so like we're a couple, if I just want to watch. They are so used to answering these questions. So don't be shy. They are more than happy to help you because they want to get paid too. Like they're working, they want to do a good service, so they get paid well and so on. And they're usually just like really cool people. I usually have conversations with with most of them. It's funny when I go, it's not really that sexual for me. It's more like we have chit chat about how her body looks so good. I'm like, what's your diet? What's your regimen? How often do you work out? What do you do for your workouts? Like, how do you get your ass so plump? Like, where do your abs come from? That's usually what I talk about them when they're dancing on me or on Gab. And then it's all cash, right? So you're sort of expected to have bills and cash and change on you. And when it's over, you pay them and don't be cheap. Always tip, whether it's, I don't know, $5, $10, $20, however much, but always give a tip. Don't be that person or that couple that doesn't tip. They work hard. They work hard and they deserve it. Also, if you happen to be at a place where a lot of women are circulating and one happens to come sit next to you and says like, hi, you know, she's flirting with you. Obviously, she's going to try and tempt you to get a dance or something. And if you're really not interested, you know, I can understand how it can be a bit awkward for some people to feel pressured. Just tell them, be like, hey, it's our first time. We just got here. We're gonna have a few drinks first and then we'll see. Obviously, be polite, be really nice, and let them know that you're not interested in a dance yet. You're gonna sort of feel it out, you know, maybe later. And they're gonna be like, okay, no problem. And they're gonna get up and they're gonna walk around. Trust me, they would rather you do that than for you to waste their time sitting there talking to you without getting anything. Because again, they're there, they're working. So even though if they're really nice, they're still working and they want to make money. So don't waste their time with chit chat and stuff like that. Anyways, the last part is debriefing. So for however long you decide to stay, when you leave, the debriefing is probably my favorite part. And just talking about what happened, what you liked, what you didn't like, laughing about something, about what you observed. Again, it's an experience that will bring you closer together, hopefully. Anyways, I hope it brings you closer together and makes some good stories. And also maybe make you discover some things that you didn't know about yourself. Maybe you had a really good time and you want to try something different next time. So, you know, you'll switch things up and you'll go to a strip club again and you'll be bold and you'll go on the stage with a little $5 bill in your mouth. So the dancer comes and sits on you and takes it out. Like, you don't know, but as you know, I'm always a fan of trying to push yourself out of that comfort zone, even though I don't always push myself. I should practice what I preach sometimes. But just reminding you that going to a strip club with your partner can be a really enriching experience and be a lot of fun if you both are super down for it and super into it. Okay, so again, you want it to be fun, you want it to be respectful, and you want it to be consentful. That's so not a word, but you know what I mean. You want both people to be consent and want to be there and have fun. And don't be cheap, tip your dancer, and what else? Have fun. That's it. I hope this video eased your concerns or your fears about trying something like this and opened up your eyes and think to yourself, you know what, this is fun. I want to try this with my partner and do something different. And if you do decide to do that, let me know. Drop it in the comments below about any experiences you've had, you know, going to a strip club with your partner. I'll share with you soon our experience. They're always one of a kind. You never know what's going to happen in them. But I can tell you that my personal strip club experience have always been pretty PG. Nothing like too crazy happened. That's why I say you don't gotta be scared. It's all good. This is very natural and normal activity. Anyways, friends, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Je vous aime.